Last night, he did give an account of what happened in Pennsylvania last weekend. He said he was only going to say it once because it's too painful to recount again. But let's listen to this, and then EJ, I'll talk to you on the other side.
In a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that. The amazing thing is that prior to the shot, if I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight. We would not be together.
EJ, what's your take on how much and often God was invoked by Donald Trump last night? We hear that often from Republicans and at Republican conventions, but usually not from Donald Trump. What do you think?
Well, I think some religious people get very nervous when people declare that they know that God is on their side. But I think among Trump's supporters, and you've written a lot about this, that he's got a very strong base now among conservative Christians, some Christian nationalists, some old garden variety conservatives, and I think they resonated very much to that language. And I think you're showing that clip was useful because you really had two parts of that speech last night. And the line that went through my head is a variation on the old one. You rarely get a second chance to make a new impression. And I think Trump lost an enormous opportunity to make a new impression. He kind of did that in the first part of the speech. It was much more reflective. He was telling a story about an extraordinary event, what happened to him, in a way that I think really did grab people. But as Megan suggested, he just couldn't stop himself, and he moved very quickly to the old stuff. But in a way, in that hour-long, diversion that created an hour and a half long speech, what he did is he had the old stuff but lower energy. I was also really struck by the way that Megan mentioned his age twice in what she talked about, and I think she's right about that. And given what we're talking about on the Democratic side, it's I think important that she underscored that point. The other thing is, I think if you think about the fight among Democrats, which we're going to get to about whether Biden should stay on the ticket or not, I think both sides got ammunition last night. If you were Joe Biden watching that long speech, you had to be saying to yourself, I can beat this guy. The side of the party that thinks that Biden should step down is going to look at that and say, we could really beat this guy with a younger candidate who didn't have the problems that Joe Biden is now facing. But mostly I felt this was an enormous lost opportunity for Trump. He sort of grabbed it at the beginning, and then he lost it and lost all discipline.